So, Stellar, what are we going to do in Egypt? Why are we going to Egypt?
Well, that's a good question. There is no doubt that there is a big change coming of the likes that none of humanity has ever seen before. Yeah. And, you know, the temples hold many, many ancient keys and codes for people who would wish to explore themselves on a more multi-dimensional level. So it's a wonderful place to do that. And, of course, you know, my mission for the trip is to bring people into the essence of love, joy, and bliss.
My teachers, Paramahansa Yogananda, used to say, periodically there's always these rumors and fears of at the end of the world, and really the world's going to continue for several billion years, working out cycles of souls in different yugas, holy ages, you know, the enlightened ages, and back to quote dark ages. There's a whole bunch of more of those cycles actually happening.
Sure.
Is what I see.
And I think imagination there is a wonderful keyword to pick up on, because you know, our imagination and our ability to co-create, we're co-creators of light. That's what we are in a free will universe here on this earth, on this beloved planet. And if we imagine, we create. That's how we create. That is how spirit moves through us to create our waking reality that we see right now, you know. So we're all it's a wake-up call. It's a big wake-up call. You know, we all hear the cliche phrase, you know, love or fear. But we're really being asked to step up into this. Are you stepping up into love, or are you going to step up into fear? What is it? Actually, step down into fear.
Yeah, choosing it. It is a choice. And Egypt has a pivotal role to play. It is sort of the last remnant of the last civilization we had on Earth, Atlantean. You know, the Atlantean we question. Some people don't believe it existed. And these are obvious machined or sound wave technology made stones. I was just seeing something last night again on Ramses' head. It is so at Karnak. Those pillars at Karnak the four sides are absolutely perfectly machined. You look, you can see the tool marks. There's something that made this. There are a type of machinery. I suggest it's light and sound technology that actually did it when I look with my, you know, future vision. But so Egypt it was the inception of our current fifth world, or fourth world as the Hopis call it, and it is also they are going to be important in completing this world, is my sense. You know, it's going to be completing it, because we don't remember Atlantis. It's under the ocean. The other civilizations are gone. There's some remnants in the highlands of Peru. But here it's concrete, it's stone, it's pink granite. It's still there. It holds the vibration that was brought. The pure priests, those that knew the sinking was coming, brought this stuff to Egypt. They inscribed it. That's a good word for it. They were scribes. They are scribes, Toth. You know, the scribe, the ultimate mathematician, scribe, high priest. They inscribed it and imprinted it and impregnated it in these stones. And what I've seen on our trip is we're going to go and feel those vibrational messages that they left there for us.
Absolutely.
And we're going to decode them and heal ourselves. And also, I think we will be serving sort of a planetary purpose of helping whatever that imprinting is, we can share and spread, because it has a final message for us, in a sense, into the new world that we're all creating, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel.
Yeah. That's really beautifully put, actually, because, you know, it is sound and light that we're playing with here, you know, as creators of light. And sound is, you know, the vibration that creates matter. So it's that beautiful mix of sound and light, which is just incredible. But it's sound and light. And Karnak, I mean, I've been there several times, and there's one obelisk there that you can hit it with a stick and it sounds like a tuning fork, and it brings this sound out. And if you have multidimensional eyes, or you have third eye sight, you can see some amazing things with this. So yeah, we are accessing the temples. Obviously some of the temples have been moved, so like Philae and Abu Simbel, which we won't be going to, but Philae has been moved from its original site. But we still will be able to access some of the beauty of that place, the Temple of Isis. So
I want to point out that this is a receiving and allowing, and in a case opening situation with people, we're going to be on the group. This is not pounding, working, pushing. This is going to go and sit and be in these spaces and let them infuse us give their, what you just said, that toning, that vibration that is still held in the stone, for us to be able to feel it and have it calibrate us in a sense. And because we are tuning forks, our spinal column is a tuning fork. This is spiritual, just physics now. It's just light and energy. And so these stones, I can feel the teachers as we talk about it. They left it in the stones because the stones remain. The stones remain. Everything else passes away, And so the message remains in the stone. And for those with kundalinis and spinal columns and spirits to hear, it remains there and becomes accessible to us. That's what I've seen us doing on the trip. Yeah.
And as an addition to that, I see us embodying the soul further, because the soul has been outside the body. And it's about bringing that soul back into the heart space, and that's what the heart is for. It's like this guiding light to bring that back in to full embodiment, full soul embodiment. So we're fully realized. We're fully man, who being the God part, bringing that into us fully for the first time, because we've been so separated through ego and, trauma and the emotional body. I mean, what I do with my singing and my music is I clear out people's emotional bodies. And I've just released yesterday The Sounds of Light, which is the first of a couple of projects I'm doing with a producer called Mark Mitchell. And he really is a master of sound. He's been absolutely incredible. And I'm already, having responses of people coming back just from hearing the music. And they're crying. I have grown men crying on my
This is always good.
On my Facebook wall. And it's like, yes, thank God, cry, get it out, get all the stuff out so that you can clear this emotional body so that the soul can come fully in. And that is something that is such an important part of this work that we're going to do together.
And the message I hear right now is it's not work involved. It's a matter of relaxing and allowing that to happen. I like the way you say it, the full embodiment, because we've been in a traumatized state ever since the fall, the last flood, or, that the human soul has sort of traumatized out. We're not present enough.
Right.
And so real healing and the ascension is that is allowed to fully incarnate. You will feel a lot more enlivened. Depression leaves, heaviness, tiredness, chronic fatigue, all that stuff just becomes absolutely it's not even there, because once there's enough of the soul is weightless, the soul is gravityless, the soul is enjoying all the time. So absolutely, I call it descending sometimes because some people focus on ascending all the time.
No, you have to descend to ascend. That's absolutely true.
Full embodiment. Take our bodies with us, and the body turns into an enjoyable situation. So many humans today were suffering with not enjoying our bodies, and the body is meant to be so enjoyable.
I once heard a great quote, and it was like, "My body is not a temple; it's a playground." And that's what this is about. It's about enjoying life. This is such an amazing playground to live. And when we're in joy and we're in love and we're fully soul embodied, everything just comes in. It just, you can't stop it. It just happens. But we have to clear out that stuff first.
So we're going to bring your body to the temple so that you can learn to play again.
I like that.
Right. Take your body to the ultimate temples on the planet. They really are. I mean, these temples are the temples on the planet. I mean, the Greeks came later, even Delphi or Stonehenge, you know what I mean? This is the star people, the intelligence. This is the original remnant, really, pyramids, obelisks, temples. So we're going to go and help. First, again, I'm repeating it, but just so we feel it. I want everyone to, if you listen to this, feel it in yourself. By the way, all the fear-mongering about Egypt, don't buy into any of that stuff. The best time to go to places is when Spirit calls you. That is the safe time for you. The safe time to go is when you feel, I want to go. I want to go. This feels right for me. That's the completely safe time for you to go.
Yeah.
So if you feel called to join us, that's it. If there's a bunch of fear-mongering, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It's a great time to go because also it's going to be a more alive, a more active, and the people there will be, in a sense, more welcoming because they're starting a new world. It's a fresh day at school. It's your first day at school. It's the first day on the new job. So it's going to be a freshness there, and that's when we're coming. We're coming at that time. You know?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
No, it is.
So,
it's incredible, and for people who are listening who like to, go into the cosmic realms, which of course is very much part of our multidimensional makeup. This is Syrian technology that created all of this. You were mentioning Thoth earlier, the architect of this universe. And I think what we're realizing as we start to become more awake, and you were saying, we're already awake, and we just have to remember that. But, we've been put in a free will universe, and some of that free will has been kind of just blinded from us. And now it's a time to step up into the free will choice of love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we forgot.
There's been so much deception and separation, and now it's time just to go, oh, what rubbish, absolute rubbish.
This is the time. I've got it so clear a few months ago, and I've been on working with people for a long time as well, and it's often felt heavy. It's been a very heavy atmosphere on Earth. That's what's cracking now. All of you, everyone who's been feeling like you've been in the spiritual closet, I call it sometimes, being in the spiritual closet, or those dreams you've had about how it could be, or I could have this as a job, or be an artist this way, or work with this, or plants, or whatever your dreams have been. This is the time all the dreamers are going to be coming into their own. The old paradigm of control, top-down fear-mongering is dying out. They're going to be getting increasingly harsher wake-up calls. But this is really the time to set yourself free. I feel it so strongly, more than ever this year. It's just going, Tobias, this is your time. You don't have to worry about being attacked by the old paradigm.
Right.
And I'm pretty outrageous with stuff. The radio shows we do and stuff. But I can feel it safe. And 2 years ago, it wasn't. It was like I could feel in my stomach. I could feel that fear. I go, I can't go there yet.
Yeah.
But now it is. And in a sense, when there is chaos, there's some chaos on the planet going on. But that is when new birth happens. When the woman is, the water breaking is some chaos. The water's breaking right now. And so I want to encourage you, if you're feeling all of a sudden really strengthened, inspired, that, I want this. Come join us. That's what we're doing. We're not doing old teaching. We're not doing Egyptologist. We'll do some of that, just the history, all that's good. But the real mission of this is for you to enliven yourself, re-embody those lost spirit aspects of yourself, and it can be done enjoyably.
Absolutely. It can be done beautifully. And I loved what you were saying about this time of manifestation and dreaming, because, I recently wrote a piece which I posted on Facebook, and it was because I'm living my dream now. I was that little 5-year-old girl in the mirror with her hairbrush, dancing and singing. That was me. And here I am, at 41, I think I'm 41 still, and I'm doing it, singing in the mirror with a hairbrush, except I have a rather large microphone now. But, it's amazing. This is the time, and if we just say yes to that, it comes in. And we just have to believe that that is the truth. And when we do make that choice of believing and creating with light in this way, miracles are happening everywhere for everybody. So this is such a positive trip. I mean, it's going to be such a positive time to really step into the fullness of your dream.
And lots of time to just integrate, to lay in the lounger on the boat.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Beautiful boats. 5-star luxury, multi-dimensional art everywhere to remind you of who you are. Just big reflections of the sky, the stars, the moon. It's going to be incredible. And it's so peaceful.
There's something about being on the water that is a new birthplace. And you know how on the ocean, and this is a river, so you don't have that wave, that when we go to Hawaii, there's always the ocean swell. But on the rivers, it's much calmer, it's a different feeling.
It's a real gliding, just gliding in ether. It's beautiful.
So that's also a very, it's an ideal way of doing it, you know. So lots of time, like when we do ayahuasca journeys, we have a ceremony one day and the next day you do nothing. If you want to lay in the hammock all day, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. So here there's lots of time, great meals, you know, it's the way it should be. We are inviting enjoyment, luxury, if you will, or luxuriousness, enjoyment as part of awakening. And this is part of undoing the old paradigm of horsehair shirts and beating yourself or you know, which I've done lifetimes of struggle, you know, or even the fact that the old ideas of yogic, and I have many lifetimes as a yogi, I shouldn't say many, I know at least of two, where we had to discipline and hurt the body a little bit. It's like somebody once said, yoga is basically finding the most uncomfortable position as possible for your body, and if you can stand it, you'll be enlightened, you know. No, yoga is great. I taught yoga. I do yoga 2-3 times a week, you know, still for myself, because it moves all my nadis and energies. Absolutely perfect system on earth. But the whole new thing is through enjoyment, through pleasure, through good food, through enjoying your body, through enjoying the sun, enjoying the water, enjoying the earth. Because when we enjoy the earth, it's like we're loving her. And
yeah.
like any,
I mean, I just spent the whole day swimming in the ocean.
Yeah,
you know, and we had one day of summer here in the UK, which arrived today. It's 21 degrees, and we went down. I have a river that I swim in most days, not far from my house, which is really cold. But the ocean was beautiful today. It was very warm. It's kind of the best time to go in. It's the warmest time of the year. And I was swimming by this very sacred island called Burr Island, which is just beautiful. So I've been blissed out all day. And it's the womb de la mer, you know, it's like being embraced by Mother Earth. And that is something, I mean, you can actually, on the Nile, in certain parts of the Nile, you can go in and be dragged behind these old-fashioned sailboats called feluccas. And you wouldn't want to dip your head in, but you can just be dragged along behind these old sailboats, and it's beautiful. And it's lovely to experience the waters there. It's really lovely.
Yeah, so... Yes, so there's plenty of time. There's no rush here. There's, you know, traveling there. You're going to have to probably make some plane changes. Once you get there, we'll meet you in Luxor and basically just take you right onto the boat, and then that's it. The rest is all taken care of. Food, you know, sleeping and the activities and the temples. You really don't have to worry about anything from that point except healing yourself, allowing yourself, feeling your other aspects, feeling the other parts of your spirit that want to come and rejoin you, and whatever your history is with Egypt, it's for you, it's for us. We're going to enjoy it too.
Yeah.
We'll be. My whole idea with spirit travel, spiritualtravelers.com, you know, all the trips we do, I don't want to do them unless I enjoy them, because the new model is that it's enjoyable for everyone. There isn't somebody slaving or hurting themselves in order to provide the luxury for the people on the front lines. No, it's all good for everybody is the new model.
Definitely.
That's the new world. So I go on trips that I want to do. You know, that's how I do it.
Me too. You know, I say if it's not fun, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that doesn't mean sometimes you don't have, you know, during healing, even you might have some things that want to come out of you, but if you're attracted to this trip, you know that process. And healing is healing, you know, some purging, some energetic purging, but that happens naturally, just like when you're at the beach, like you were saying you were doing. That's the way to do it through enjoyment, through fun, you know.
Well, that's what I do with my workshops, and obviously I'm bringing all of that information to this trip. And, you know, to clear the emotional body, as you were saying, you know, there's the old-fashioned way of doing it, like purging yourself and whipping yourself in the back and crying and going through all this pain. But that's not what my work's all about. My work goes in like a surgeon's scalpel, and it's absolutely painless and just takes everything out very, very quickly. So you actually don't have to go into the story of your life. You just go into the pure consciousness of who you are, and it all gets changed on a cellular level at a very, very deep and very quick level. So it's painless. It's an old paradigm thing to say, no pain, no gain. It's rubbish. It doesn't have to be painful at all.
I say it more, it's in our pleasure we find our treasure.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You know, it's in our enjoyment that we find our enjoyment with the source. We become one again. Absolutely. The course of awakening that I do on all trips, and I have 7 different sort of main methods, and I asked a number of years ago, I asked God, Spirit, show me this whole concept of can it be enjoyable, practical, real, and that's where we go to Hawaii. That's nice. Swimming with dolphins and hanging out under the palm trees and walking with the turtles, in the bay. That's kind of nice. Mm-hmm. And then we lay in the hammocks again. Hammocks are often a theme. No, I'm kidding.
Chilling out.
Chilling out. But through enjoyment, or hanging out with wolves, or swimming with manatees, and even ayahuasca. Now, that's a bit of a more direct purging when we do that. But the exercises in there are enjoyable. The inner body awakening, and we will choose. Stella will do her magic with everybody, and I will do my methods as Spirit has shown them to me. One is, we were just in Seattle, did a great course with a few people, and during our basic breath meditation, there was something that happened for everybody. Wow. It was just this, I literally was outside. I was in both places. I could feel. That doesn't always happen in public with me, usually in my private meditations. But during the meditation, I was literally expanded out into about 10 feet all around me. And everyone else was feeling it. They were afterwards, the way the mind asked about it was, oh, Tobias, do you have that recorded somewhere? They wanted to take it home, But this is a basic, the fancy word for it is Vipassana meditation, yeah. But a basic, simple breathing meditation is so powerful, and part of bringing that in with the energy. For example, another one I love to do is what I called my cup runneth over, really awakening the heart, feeling love again. And that love being allowed to be directed around the body, and you really just feel really pleasurable.
Yeah.
So we'll choose from these. It becomes very obvious to me, this is what's right for us to do now. We just sort of listen to Spirit, to guidance, say this, the inner body awakening right now. And then we'll be And then I can just feel we're going to be getting the big picture, Sirius, the star people, the beings, Atlantis, who was there. We're going to be seeing and feeling and inviting them to talk with us as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's just the most amazing energy there. It really is. And to experience the majesty of these temples and the sheer size of them. I mean, Denderah, when you walk up to the approach to Denderah, it's amazing because there's just this huge long causeway. And then the temple, I mean, you have to crane your neck at the door to see the top of it. It's huge. Oh. And then you have the head of Hathor, which depicts the feminine uterus, effectively. So the way her hair is kind of brought down in is like the walls of the uterus, which also looks very like the 432 hertz when it's photographed on the cymoscope, and we can go into that a little bit later. But it's a very similar womb-like shape, which is all of creation. And then her ears that come out represent the ovaries. And then underneath there's like a perfect circle, which to me is the perfect circle of sound, because the Denderah temple is all about sound, music, beauty, and the arts. So we're going to be there on the 11-11-11, which is going to be a very powerful time to be there. And we'll be at Abydos as well, which we can work with the Flower of Life there. So yeah, it's going to be beautiful, really beautiful.
And which is the Temple of Horus?
It's Edfu.
Edfu, yeah. Edfu. So for the guys, listen, Horus too. We're not going to have all, yonis and no, I'm kidding.
Wounds.
Uteruses all over the place. But Horus, the guy, anyway, one of the main guys, obviously. Years ago, as I was going through a real awakening, a really sort of dark night of the soul in a sense, one of initiation time for me, I started drawing, and I never really was into drawing before, but I drew these legible, actually people thought they were okay, and one of them was, I don't know why, I called it the Avenging Horus. It's kind of a heavy title, but at the time it was a perfect initiation for me. I drew him and his body, just the power of the muscular, and this dress he had on, which I later realized was the Egyptian dress, And I really was communing with him at that time. And it was a very interesting energy, you know. And I also tapped me into other lifetimes in Atlantis as a being. I had a form in Atlantis at one point where I was an eagle person, if you will. I could transform. We've all done this. I know it sounds fanciful and far out to a lot of us nowadays, but where we could shapeshift, and I could feel as an eagle person where I would have a form as a human and Horus obviously has the falcon head, so it's part of that, and he told me some other things as well.
Great.
But so there'll be some.
That's a good balance, Tobias. You know, you can bring the masculine element, and I can bring the feminine through, and then people can have that balance created within them, which is, you know, another way to fully embody the soul is to become married to yourself in that sacred chamber of the heart. You know, to be the I am that I am, and the divine marriage that takes place when we become whole again. And my music very much, you know, works on that level, especially with the frequency change. And I know a lot of people probably won't be aware of it, but you know, after the Second World War, concert pitch was changed to 440 hertz, which has been shown to be discordant to our cellular system as humans. And so through my discovery of sound and merging science and spirituality and sound together, I've gone on this huge journey of discovering how 432 hertz is life-giving to our cellular system and also consciousness expanding. And ever since I've been on this journey, I've just been introduced to some of the most amazing people. And I'm very lucky now to be collaborating with Brian T. Collins, who really has spent the last 20 years, probably almost of his life, researching this. And, you know, now he's been holding that light so that this can come through. And we've already started collaborating on some music, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So some of that will be ready, I hope, for the trip too, which will just take people off into a completely different space.
Absolutely. And I want everybody to know, I mean, when I connected with Stellar, she's... music is meant to be used a certain... It's meant to be whatever it is. But Stellar's the real deal. She's the reincarnated priestess that was there and did this stuff. So now she's back. and so it is a completion of cycles. And yeah, when you tone, and I'm sure when you sing in those temples, Stellar, that's a hard experience to describe, but it's brings you back.
It's a heart experience. That's what it is. It's a heart experience, and it will really be very much in the heart.
So completions here. I hear Osiris too. So Osiris and Horus will be with us. Their essences, the archetypes, those energies, depending on how open we are as a group, they can approach and come as close as they can, you know. And these are ascended masters. These are beings that are free beings. Osiris is a god, you could say, but it's like Shiva is in India, you know. But they're also at one point were human beings. Or, you know, so this is what we're headed towards, and they're glad to share. They're glad to share. And they're masters at sharing. Don't worry, there'll be no scary stuff.
No.
There'll only be that which we're ready to feel and hear. And I've seen it and felt it. I've felt my lifetimes there. My mom, who I'm just been helping right now move, my mom was an Egyptian oracle. She was an oracle in in the temples there, and I was a soldier in one lifetime. And I've seen, you know, some of the stuff that went on. So many of us, most of us, on this path have always had several lifetimes in Egypt. I find when I work with people, it'll show up, you know, and so reclaiming those energies, completing those circles, activating the planet and ourselves, enjoying the trip, allowing the receptive part and the invigoration, the masculine part, and honoring these temples. These are the amazing temples on the planet, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of surprises in store. A lot of surprises because, you know, stone has memory, you know, and it's the mineral kingdom, and the way that it's been fashioned and shaped and inscribed, as you said before, you know, holds a lot of keys, and it's a very personal journey too. Even though we'll be doing stuff in a group, you know, people will be getting their own packets of data to process, and you know, there are many different light bodies that we can work with as well, which we'll be talking about on the trip too. So, Yeah, it's going to be a real eye-opener. And as you say, it's a culmination of many, many lifetimes to come to this point of awakening. And, and enjoyment. That's it. Come and see these amazing stones that hold so much knowledge that are activated through sound. And
imagine a calm vacation, an enjoyable vacation, not not overrun tourist thing, but it's a going away and enjoying. I'm just feel that's our intention. That's how I do all my trips, and And
like all my work, with my CD sales and everything that's happening right now, I'm donating a percentage of my personal profits to many charities to help children across the planet and globe. And some of those charities haven't even been created yet, but that is my sole intention to, through the beauty of my work, to allow that to spread out, for my own personal decision to help others, especially the children.
Sweet. We donate all our trips. We give some to the Wolf Sanctuary, the Wild Horse Foundations. That's part of it. Wherever we go, the manatee is a part of what we do. That was the inception 10 years ago. That's just part of what we do. And some of them, at the Wolf Sanctuary trip, the Wolf trip, we just give most of it, really, or a big chunk of it, because we also do the lodging there and so forth. Yeah, absolutely. And that's just part of the new paradigm.
It is. It's like in giving we receive. That's the formula. To receive anything of any value, spiritually, we have to be able to give too and not worry. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about, as you say, enjoyment, stepping up into this love vibration, and just being this fully realized human being whose birthright is joy. That is it.
Yeah. And and it's getting. We've talked about it for 30 years, and some of us, right? And done it. We've done a lot of initiations. Now is really the culmination of it here, and being able to kind of go into what we want to go into. It's getting easier and easier for me. That's my reality. I'm watching some people around me getting major wake-up calls, and that's perfect the way it needs to be. Yeah. Egypt is... So, again, I can feel it. I want to enjoy myself. I want to hang out. I want to hear you sing. I want to be there and feel. Because whenever I'm filled, whenever I do any of my work, I'm going to Hopi here shortly, just a couple of days. But whenever I do work with people or sessions with people, I do the soul counseling sessions with people, it's a privilege. People ask me sometimes, don't you get drained, Tobias, doing all that work? I go, no. I get filled with God. When God fills me, because He's helping other people. Because I'm not interested in me owning it or pretending knowing more than I just gave up. I've had other lifetimes of cult stuff. Not interested.
Okay? Yeah. Hey, we've all been there.
And so this lifetime, it's a privilege. I watch and people. I'm always amazed at the things that can happen. So. I love the end.
It's like becoming an instrument of the divine. That's the way I put it. I get out of the way. It comes in. I do my stuff, or it flows through me. Is a better way of putting it. And I find it. I don't find it hard to take a compliment, but I still find it hard to go thank you. Because it's not me.
I do too.
It's weird.
I do too.
It's like it's not me. I'm just the vehicle, and we're all vehicles for it. We all have this ability to do this. We just have to clear out, the stuff in the way that kind of keeps us in resistance. But
So we're going to be doing the alchemy process too, the alchemy energy process. This is truly Thoth, obviously. This is the ancient teachings, the Hermetic, the secrets. Saint Germain I recently talked about, but this alchemy of being able to alchemize energies. We're going to be able to learn to be energetic masters. We are anyway. A lot of it is in our subconscious nowadays, but it's time to become conscious, energetic masters. The Egyptians, the word alchem, if I have it right, Stellar will correct me, but alchem is the name of ancient Egypt, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, there's alchem, and then there's sechem, and there's various different chems. But yes, it is an ancient term for the land, absolutely.
Egypt is alchem. It is the foundation of alchemy. It is the beginnings of alchemy. It was considered sort of just part of the learning, the secret initiations, the mysteries. Alchemy, of course. And then, so I'll be doing that as well. We'll be working with the alchemy energy process, which is one of the main two processes I work with people. The two practical things that God Spirit told me about a year ago was, look, Tobias, get people to feel their own energies. No, everyone understands a lot, that we know there's stuff wrong in the world and we know we're divine beings potentially, but how do you do it? How do you do it? The way you do it is you feel your own inner energies, that's the inner body, and then you learn to work those inner energies, the alchemy of energies. So those processes will be part of what we will be doing on the trip, I know, and then whatever else we feel led to.
Which is very appropriate because, you have the alchemy of Horus, which is the practice of the sacred union within. So it's balancing all the channels, or if you like, the nadis and all the different channels of light and the flow of energy around the body. So, yeah.
That's right. And I wanted to say it again. I'm very excited about, me and another friend of mine have been talking about, we're going to have to really help men to awaken to the male principle of power, of doing, activity, inception. Protector, initiator, innovator, and this is... It doesn't mean, I've just gotten it so clear, we're also developing a separate seminar for that, about we don't have to give up anything to become spiritual. We don't have to become feminized in any way, which is a deep-seated fear sometimes in the male.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is one of the energies I will be absorbing for myself from Horus and Osiris, and sharing as well with the men that come on the trip. So.
Beautiful. And it's so important too, because as we move into this very feminine time, it is a very feminine time where we are about to be restored back into harmony and balance between the male and female energies, where we've been really out of whack for the last 13,000 years or so. And then before that it was even more out of whack on the feminine side. But the feminine returns, that's like the divine feminine returning. It's this energy of balance and harmony and beauty and real enjoyment and love and joy and we're co-creating heaven on earth. That's what we're doing.
That's right. Yeah. I'm thinking of, anyway. Yeah, so if you women,
What are you thinking?
If you women, I was somewhere the other day, well, women are really the ultimate creators of the universe. And I said, well, great, then start creating the men you want. Make us good and happy.
We're working on it.
Good. Then we don't have to take all the responsibility anymore.
No,
hey, that's a good one.
Of course not. No.
Yeah.
This is balance. This is about total balance, fairness, equality. All the things that people have been fighting for, will happen in a joyful space, and that's heaven and earth to me, and a place where, men and women have very different powers, and the masculine element has maybe always had this deep-seated fear of the feminine, but because it couldn't find a way to balance it before, and this time we're coming into is where the feminine just kind of not even leads the way. It's just this sort of joint hand-holding and walking through a portal together. It's holding hands and just walking through into this new space. And the way that I see that happening is just very organically, without the fear of each other's power. Each other's power together makes something much more powerful than if we're separated, through the genders or whatever, or even within ourselves energetically. When we come together like that, whoa, that's the new world. And a place where you can just be yourself and be recognized for that without any fear.
And a laying down of our swords and shields, any of the remnants of being scared of each other as men and women. Because, the union is within ourselves, of course, the mystery. But also okay, we're done with battle. We're done with any battle between male and female. And so part of part of it is just to realize that, and we'll be doing some of that, I feel, as well. Just finally go, okay, I can finally breathe, I can relax. There's really no need to defend anymore. It's more a matter of letting in, let go and let in,
It's like the keywords for that are, transparency, like really being naked, seeing the real person, the vulnerability that comes with that. So stepping into this beautiful space of vulnerability, because that's where our true power really lies. Once we're in that space of complete surrender, this is me, this is who I am, and to step up into that and glow in that space is just beautiful. It's beautiful.
That's the only thing that really satisfies, allowing ourselves to be who we are, and then we naturally balance. Innocence has always protected me my whole life.
Me too. It's the purity and innocence, nothing can touch it.
Yeah, and that's why every teacher talks about that. Jesus taught everyone, Krishna, all of them talk about become that innocence. It's not naivete, it's the power of freshness, of newness, of being protected. And that's really becoming available. One of the main things I know my soul came to teach or share is to first heal myself, but also to share that level of play and innocence, of being able to have sacred fun in the sacred mysteries. And I've always had people reflect that back to me. And sometimes they've thought I'm not being serious enough. That's okay. In serious circles like academia. But that's really the final gateway. If you want to have eternal youth and free energy, meaning live forever in eternal youth, you can only get there by going through innocence. There's no other way to do it.
That's the kingdom of heaven right there, Yeah. Through the eyes of a child, one can only enter the kingdom of heaven. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what seems to be happening for me as I say yes to the little girl in the mirror with the hairbrush, It's happening. Jeepers.
Yeah.
It's great fun. It really is.
I love being taken care of, in a sense, by the universe, by mommy and daddy, in a sense, or you can say by your larger self. But I love that because we don't want to struggle. We don't want this pain. We don't want to have survival fear and terror all the time. And this is what the final healing is going to be on Earth, is that we're going to deal with that survival terror. And that's what's coming up. All the war on terror, that's all that's about.
Yeah.
All, the economic collapse, all that stuff. And you can only heal that on the inside. As within, you've heard me say it, Stella, as within, so without. So part of both, I know, Stella and my wish, intention, teaching, sharing, not only for ourselves, but those that join us on this trip, is a gentle awakening into learning to change that within us so that our universe reflects back to us. No more, you don't have to effort, push, manipulate. The whole manipulation thing, NLP, witchy stuff, this, that, and the other affirmations, all that stuff's fine for a while, but after a while you go like, I'm sick of techniques.
Yeah.
I don't want to do techniques, I want to live direct. I call it going direct. At some point you have to go direct to God, to Source, and just be it again.
I can so feel your passion in that. And it's done from the heart. It's done from the heart space. And I'll be going through some really powerful techniques to get people from the head into the heart space. There's some very specific ways to do that. We'll be doing all of that. And there is no way you can not be living in the heart at the end of it.
So we'd love for you to join us, though. If you feel drawn to this, there's no teachings we're pushing on anyone. This is simply spiritual physics of you awakening to your real self. Nothing to believe in. Come and enjoy on a river cruise boat. Nice meals on their deck. There's a little pool on the boat. When we'll get off at different stops and go visit these sacred temples. What could be better than that?
It's going to be amazing. And it'll be such an honor to work with you, Tobias. It's such a great energy. So thank you so much. And thank you to Joy as well. I hope she's coming.
She's not sure yet.
No.
We'll see.
It'd be wonderful if she did. It would be lovely to meet her in person as well.
Well, I'm so glad too. So, awesome. I hope this all happens the way we think it should, and it could, and it would. And I'm looking forward to the one in February too.
Yes,
so,
yeah. Some amazing things happening in February too, so energetically. But to be there for the 11/11/11, I think is a wonderful, because it's a Stargate activation time. So it really will be liftoff.
So, you feel this in your soul, just say yes. If you say, I don't know how, but I know it would be helpful for me, or I'm supposed to be there with Stellar and Tobias, just say yes to the universe. Say yes, I say yes, help, just allow this to happen, and it will be happening.
Call it in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
What's the Egyptian blessings?
Well, I mean, a moon is the creation. So like a man, a moon, it's the so it is. So, you know, calling out to the universe to bring it all in. You can end it with Amun, which is the big creation.
Amen. Selah. Not the man in the moon, although that's okay too. Amun.
A-M-U-N. And then obviously Shammai is always a beautiful one to say, which is in the language of life, but I love you. So, you know, to show your gratitude and send your love out to the universe and watch it come back.
Beautiful. All right. So come join us if you feel led. And thank you so much, Stellar. I really look forward to feeling Egypt again in this lifetime. I know I've been there so many times, and I always wondered why this wasn't happening on our other trips, but this is why, because this is the time to go.
Many spirits are coming together right now to facilitate this stuff. So, honor, Tobias. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Night.
Night.